Stay hydrated in style this summer with a mermaid themed tumbler. To create this gorgeous water bottle, you will need the following supplies. I used one skinny acrylic tumbler, Craftables iridescent vinyl, Craftables glitter adhesive vinyl, and some Craftables reusable transfer tape. Now let's create the design together. I have the SVGs I will be using on the screen already. I found them on Google and converted them in Design Space myself. I'm going to be using 2 seashells, a mermaid tail, and a set of mermaid scales that I will cut to the size I need. I saw a koozie, I believe it was, the other day that had this wording on it, which I thought was so funny. Beach please, I'm a mermaid. So I figured this would be perfect for the water bottle. Now that we have all the words that we need, I'm going to be taking one of the mermaid tails, which they're attached, so as you can see I'm using my slice tool to detach them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld it to the word mermaid just to make it a little extra. Once I get it in the place that I want it, I'm going to hit weld, and now it will become part of the word and cut that way as well. For the scales, I measured my tumbler and it is 8.5 inches all around. So what I'm going to do is make the scales that length, but I do not need that height. So I'm gonna cut it to where I think would be best because I do not want the scales going all the way up the water bottle. Now let's cut it. Okay, so I already have all of my pieces of vinyl weeded. I cut the design on my Cricut and I weeded the excess vinyl, so this is what we have so far. I think this color is so pretty. We have a purple glitter and I want to say like a hot pink glitter. And then of course the iridescent vinyl for the scales, which is so pretty. I don't know if you could see that on the camera. And I also have my Craftables reusable transfer tape that I've cut to size just to make it easier for the purpose of the video. So what I want to do first, I think, is we'll place the scales, this way the writing comes after and it'll be easier. So, need our squeegee. Peel back the transfer tape. It has grid lines, so it makes it so much easier to line everything. Okay. Go over it with the squeegee. I've looked all over YouTube and Google on how to place mermaid scales on any type of cup. Usually what I'll do when I have a project in mind is I'll look for a tutorial and then I'll just tweak it to what works best for me. I cannot find anything on this. So we're just gonna wing it. And if you guys try this project and you find a much easier, more efficient way to do this, please let me know. Okay. So we have it on our transfer tape. Now, let's see what would be the easiest way. Just gonna go for it. You want them to align. I think it's going up. No, it's going up. You know what we're gonna do? This might work. Let's make sure this is pressed down. And then we'll pull from here so that this way we're able to rearrange the vinyl. See that? Rearrange the vinyl to where everything's still lining up.
Okay, so I used a transfer tape and I went around with the scales, and I'm gonna leave this part open. I left this much off. I didn't press it onto the tumbler because what I want for the design, how I have a mermaid tail on the word mermaid, I want it to go into the scales. So what we're gonna do now is just leave these off, and we're gonna start placing the writing on the cup. And then after we have it placed where we want it, we will go back in by hand and place the rest of the scales. So we'll see how that works out. Just cut out the size that I need. Okay. Go over it with a squeegee. See how easy that comes out? Okay. Place that on. When I'm applying vinyl to a cup, I always start from the center by pressing it on the center first. And then I work my way out to avoid bubbling.
And we're just gonna go ahead and duplicate this technique for each of the shells with each word that I would like to place on top, and also for the I'm a wording.
Go with the other side. I love that this transfer tape is reusable because I don't have to keep cutting and reapplying. Just use the same sheet. And usually I can almost, depending on what it is, I want to say I could get about at least four. That's underestimating, just to be on the safe side. I could get at least 4 projects done with the same sheet of this transfer tape. Okay, now that I'm done with this sheet, because I can't use this for the last one, it's not big enough, I'm just going to place it back onto my backing. And I squeegee it down just to make sure it sticks. And then just save it for a different project. So now we're going to use this one to cover that. Move my scraps out of the way. And see what I did with the grid lines? I placed it right below the wording. It makes it easier when I'm going to place it on the bottle to make sure that it's not crooked. Okay, got it on. In between the scales, and then what I'll do is I'll just go back in and place these by hand where I want them around the tail. Okay.
Now I'm just going back in, I'm using my tweezers to pick up each scale to place on the remaining open space between the tail on the water bottle. And this is the finished product.